Hello and welcome, dear students. How are you all? I request you all to finish your lunch quickly and get back to your seats. Yeah, I think you have finished your lunch by now. So please get back to your seats now. Students, I can see what you're doing in the class. Please try to get back quickly. Okay, enough of those paper balls. Now get back to your seats, everyone. Yeah, and please report your attendance quickly, and we are beginning right away. Okay, so in the last class we had started Kingdom Plantae, and regarding Kingdom Plantae, let me give you a quick recap of what we did. Kingdom Plantae basically refers to the autotrophic organisms. These are multicellular organisms because unicellular eukaryotic photosynthetic organisms, they were already included in kingdom Protista. Now from this kingdom we will see the multicellular eukaryotic and autotrophic organisms. So first group, the first phylum of kingdom Plantae is basically algae. The first subgroup of kingdom Plantae is basically algae. Algae are thallophytes. They have thalloid body organization. Some people also include bryophyta under thallophyta because they also don't have a distinction of root, stem and leaf. So algae are also called as thallophyta sometimes, and sometimes we also include bryophyta under thallophyta, but algae are true thallophyta. Alright, algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperms and angiosperms. So we had begun with studying the various algae, the green algae, red algae, brown algae. Alright, so the green algae, the first of all we had dealt with green algae we already dealt with in the previous class. Okay, so green algae are basically multicellular eukaryotic organisms having chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, some pigments, they have carotenoids, they have xanthophylls, and they have storage food material in the form of pyrenoid starch bodies. Pyrenoid starch bodies. Okay. So, alright, Senapati, you have reported attendance. Shillong, Itanagar, other centers also. Shillong, Itanagar and Tamenglong centers, please also report your attendance. Yeah, you haven't done that so far, so I have to remind you again. Shillong, Itanagar and Tamenglong students, please report your attendance. Shillong students, please settle down now. Your break is over. Yeah, please do that quickly. Okay, Tamenglong, thank you. And Shillong and Itanagar, everybody please settle down. Yeah, I have to repeat myself so many times. Okay, please do it. Alright, so carrying on, economic importance of green alga we had discussed in the last class. Chlorellin is obtained from chlorella. Chlorella is used as space food by astronauts. Okay, and in the case of brown algae that we had discussed last time, brown algae are known as sea giants, sea kelps. They are always found in sea water. They are exclusively marine, and the pigments in brown algae, they are very important. There is one pigment called fucoxanthin. Okay, brown algae have a pigment called as fucoxanthin, and that is a very important pigment because of which they are recognizable. Because fucoxanthin concentration is variable, so some brown algae are light brown colored, some are green colored because of very less fucoxanthin, and most of them are dark brown or light brown colored because of high concentration of this pigment. Alright, and I had shown you the shapes of various brown algae. These shapes are important because you will receive a board question regarding the shape, drawing the shape of these brown algae. And Dictyota, Laminaria, fucus. I had given you these three. Also, the color of brown algae ranges from light green, it can be brown also depending on for eicosanthin. Storage food material, laminarin, mannitol, they are rich sources of iodine. Okay, and algin is a very good product obtained from this, and I showed you what algin can do. You remember that video I told you about? Algin can be used to set a variety of shapes to various things, right? Okay. Sargassum is a brown algae which grows in much abundance near Bermuda Triangle. So this area is called Sargasso Sea after Sargassum. Alright. So Bermuda Triangle is near United States of America, and it's not very close to the coast, but it's away from it. And any ship, any aircraft that goes near it eventually dies, destroys itself. No signal has been received so far. So we do not know about Bermuda Triangle, but we know that it is surrounded by Sargasso Sea. Red algae. Red algae are found at great depths in the ocean, around 200 meters. So they have two pigments, R-phycocyanin, R-phycoerythrin. They are bluish in color or red in color depending upon the concentration of pigments. Photosynthetic events are chlorophyll A, chlorophyll D, and sexual reproduction oogamous. In green alga, isogamous, anisogamous, oogamous. Three types of sexual reproduction. Brown algae, oogamous or anisogamous, and in red algae, exclusively oogamous. Asexual reproduction is by non-motile spores. Economic importance is agar-agar is a very important phycocolloidal substance, and it is obtained from Gelidium and Gracilaria. Right? Porphyra, Polysiphonia are other examples of red algae, but the most important product that is obtained from red alga is basically agar-agar. Please never forget it. It's a very important question. I have told you again and again that this is a very important question that comes in definitely in your NEET exams. Source of agar-agar, option can be red algae, option can be Gelidium or Gracilaria. Okay, because these are the main sources. Next, carrying on, we have to cover Bryophyta today, and I'll also try to cover Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, and Gymnosperm. Let's see how much we can do. So finally we can begin. The revision is over. Bryophyta. So please tell me, what do you understand about Bryophyta? What are Bryophyta? In the last class I told you that when you go near the rivers or ponds, you have seen stones covered with green soft vegetation. It's grass like, but it's not actually grass, because grass grows on the soil and it is growing on stones. Okay, where there is very less soil covering, in such areas this Bryophyta grows. Okay, all right, yeah, okay. Just a second. Okay, mineral nutrition. Okay, yeah. All right. Just a second. Give me a second. Mineral nutrition. Oh, yeah. Just give me a second. All right. I'm just checking in what happened. All right, yeah, okay, sorry, yeah, my bad. I thought it was, yeah, all right. So mineral nutrition was the last topic. Okay, all right. Give me a second. So mineral nutrition was done. So I have to cover. Okay. All right. All right. So regarding mineral nutrition, all right, yeah, fine, okay, sorry, I missed that. All right, so mineral nutrition, we had done that in the last class. We had covered regarding mineral nutrition that the minerals which are required in some particular quantities in a very fixed amount, that it should not cross a particular threshold, otherwise it becomes toxic, and it should not be less than a particular concentration or it becomes deficient. Such minerals are defined as the essential mineral nutrients. Okay, so yeah, all right. Look, okay, in the mineral nutrition chapter, we have, in the last class, we because in the mineral nutrition, transport and mineral nutrition, transport you have done, osmosis was done. Now it is up to the micronutrients and the macronutrients. Okay, all right. Yeah, so yeah, all right. So this one more thing, I had sent this PPT to you. You have received it, right? This PPT regarding the mineral nutrients and their concentrations, you have received it, right? Okay, just say yes or no. All right. Actually I had prepared this. All right. Okay, just wait a second. I'll just start from a new page. All right. Mineral nutrition, please put the heading and we'll start from the last part. Okay. So regarding mineral nutrition, we have discussed hydroponics and the importance of studying soilless cultivation of plants. Soilless cultivation of plants. Soilless cultivation of plants. Okay. The minerals which are being supplied to the plant, there is a huge problem if we start to try to study their concentration from the soil, because in soil, if you are trying to study the deficiency of a particular mineral, it becomes very difficult. So in hydroponics I have already given you the definition in the last class. Now there is one more thing that you have to do here. In order to study the mineral deficiency, of a plant, we need to prepare a nutrient solution. With the targeted mineral being absent, targeted mineral or ion being absent, and then growing plants being absent and growing plants in this solution, Okay. So if you want to study nitrogen deficiency, I am going to mix iron sulfate, ammonium sulfate, magnesium chloride, sodium chloride, but I am not going to use any nitrate ion. Otherwise, normally we use sodium nitrate or we use potassium nitrate, but I am not going to add nitrate to the mineral ion solution. In this condition, I am going to study the effects that are going to happen on this plant which is growing in this solution, and nitrogen deficiency symptoms will be quite clearly visible. Okay? nitrogen deficiency symptoms will be quite clearly visible. So what happens is, these are the minerals that are called macronutrients and micronutrients, and based on the concentration required by the plant, we either classify the plant as classify the nutrient as micronutrient and also called macronutrient. So do you remember the definition of dry mass of a plant? Students, do you know what is dry mass? Yes or no? Just say yes or no if you know dry mass, yes or no. I think I had discussed with you in the last class that the dry mass is the dehydrated mass of the plant, and the plant is actually burnt, and the concentration of sodium, potassium or any ion, the ions that are listed here in this list, it is studied in the plant ash material. The plant ash material, it is being used, and in that plant ash material we analyze the ions that are present or absent, and we also try to analyze the concentration of that particular mineral. Okay, based on this we classify it as macronutrient and micronutrient. There is only one mineral, that is called iron, which is actually a micronutrient, but it is sometimes classified as a mega nutrient. Okay, so when we talk about the essential plant nutrients, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, they form the basic network of the plant, basic framework of the plant. So it is very difficult to eliminate them as such. So what basically we study is the essential deficiency of both micro and mega nutrients. Okay, so let's start with the definition of dry mass of the plant. So please write dry mass of the plant, because I don't think you remember. Oh yeah, okay, I haven't sent this PPT to you. Alright, I'll send this after class or in the break. Okay, I'll send this to you. Yeah, I think because I had just finished one chapter, and yeah, that is why I think because I had just started it, that is why I missed this chapter. It's okay. I'll just send this in the break. Okay. So please put now the heading now, dry mass. Dry mass of the plant. So what is a dry mass? Please write. It is the dehydrated plant mass. Dehydrated plant mass okay, and it is used for calculating. It is dehydrated plant mass, and basically how do you calculate it? You take a plant material and you put it in an oven, and we put it in the oven for so long that ultimately the water vapor stops coming out. Okay, we do not want to burn it. It is not burning. We just want to dry it to such an extent that all the water present in the vapor form, it is evaporated. So this is how it is done. Dehydrated plant mass, it is done by placing the plant in a dry oven till its mass stops decreasing, because as the water is lost, its mass will decrease. So we put it for so long that ultimately the mass is not changing. Now this is written as the plant dry mass, and from this dry mass we will calculate the amount of sodium, potassium, nitrogen, hydrogen, etc. Okay. So this is the definition of plant dry mass. Okay. Normally it's not high heat. If you also want the temperature, it's over 100 degree Fahrenheit, but it's not required. Now we have the definition of macronutrients and micronutrients. So this definition is also given in the NCERT, that what is macronutrients and what are micronutrients. So what are macronutrients? They are the nutrients needed in larger quantities, nutrients needed in larger quantities, needed in larger quantities by the plant, normally in grams also. Okay. And based on this, we have also defined that what is the range required basically for the macro and micronutrients. Okay. So there is a particular range by the plant that is used to calculate how much it will be required. Alright, just a second. Give me a second. Yeah, okay. Alright. So please see this chart now. Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium and sulfur. Okay. This is a relative percentage of these ions in the plant. Okay. So basically nitrogen is required is in the concentration of making proteins, amino acids, and phosphorus is used for nucleic acids or ATP. So nitrogen is used basically as a base element to compare other elements concentration with relative to it. Okay. So nitrogen is required in most quantity after carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Okay. So based on this, you can see the relative abundance of phosphorus, potassium, calcium and magnesium. These are the most essential ones. And the micronutrients are present in very, very less amount. The micronutrients are present in very, very less amount. Okay. Alright. So just I want to give you an idea. So please see this. How plants take up the mineral nutrients, how these nutrients will be uptake. In the chapter transport, you have studied that it is due to bulk flow and it is also assisted by root hair. Those plants which do not have root hair, they have a special structure called mycorrhizae. Okay. And basically the ions of whatever substances are present, they are present in close association with water molecules, and water molecules will be following the ions. So first you absorb the minerals, then the water molecules will immediately follow. Okay. So this is how it is happening. This is a soil particle, a clay particle, and it is covered with negatively charged ions, for example magnesium, copper, zinc, molybdenum, calcium, etc. Okay. And it is normally replaced with the help of H plus ions. Now whatever, because if you are giving the H plus ions to the clay particle, it can now give you the calcium ions. In exchange for hydrogen, you can get calcium. Now see this diagram. Okay. So the root here is basically helping in the uptake by exchanging one with the help of other. You give one positive particle and take the other positive particle in exchange for it. Okay. Single cell root here. Okay. So apoplast, implast, all these pathways you have studied. Okay. Alright. So now see this chart please. What will happen if a particular mineral is deficient. Okay, so please read this. Just a second. Okay, now I'll ask you something else based on this. So please go through this. Nitrogen deficiency will basically result in the deficiency of proteins. Not only proteins, nitrogen is also a part of DNA and RNA. So when you see light green to yellow appearance, it means chlorophyll is absent. You have read the first line. It is due to the deficiency of chlorophyll. The second line says especially older leaves, because the older leaves are giving their nutrients to the younger leaves. Okay. Stunted growth and poor fruit development. Stunted growth because new proteins cannot be made, new DNA cannot be made. Poor fruit development because fruit development requires a lot of nutrients and also a lot of DNA for making new cells. However, if you give the excess of nitrate to the plant, then it has dark green foliage, and this green foliage is susceptible to lodging. Lodging means excessive storage of water, and because there is excessive storage of water in the soil, the plants stop taking the minerals. Okay, and draft like symptoms also. Sometimes the plants may transpire excessively, so the soil will become very dry. Disease is also susceptible. Disease condition is also very imminent. It will also happen. And insect invasion, fruit and seed crops may not give the suitable yield. Alright, they may not give the suitable yield. Next we have phosphorus deficiency. Phosphorus deficiency means if you do not have excess phosphorus, normal phosphorus, then that means you cannot make the DNA, because phosphorus is a part of the DNA. Phosphodiester bond links two sugar molecules together. Stunted plant growth, delay in plant development. However, if you have excess of phosphorus, then that means micronutrients can be replaced by phosphorus. So it can cause deficiency of other minerals, for example, iron or zinc deficiency. Potassium, if potassium is not there, plants will not be able to maintain proper osmotic balance, because potassium malate ion exchange theory explains how plants uptake water, okay, into the cells or maintain their turgor pressure. So if turgor pressure is not maintained, plant cells will not be able to gain turgidity or maintain the shape of their organs. So deficiency causes older leaves to turn yellow around the margins initially. Okay, so this is called marginal chlorosis. So I'll give this slide to you also. Irregular fruit development, that is also obvious, and excessive potassium causes magnesium deficiency and possibly calcium deficiency also. Okay. Next, nitrogen and the effects of soil organic matter on plant nutrition. Okay, so this is already, I've said this many times, so there is no need to discuss this again. Okay, now see this diagram please. How nitrogen is being taken in. Okay, nitrogen fixing bacteria, ammonifying bacteria basically. So they convert the nitrogen into ammonia, and ammonifying bacteria converts it into ammonium ions basically, right? And that is in turn taken by nitrifying bacteria, and ammonia is later converted into nitrate. Nitrate is being taken in and it is transported up. Okay, so that is fairly efficient. So yeah, now please see the soil profile. Please study the soil profile. This diagram what I have trying to show here is, this is a soil sample. This is a soil sample, and how do you have taken the soil sample? I've just dug a hole and I'm taking a inch tape and I'm measuring the thickness of the different soil layers. Now please, this is very obvious if you try to see it. I just only want you to remember this. Just try to please identify the first layer on the soil, on the top part. what is the first layer on the top part of the soil? Yeah, on the diagram. In this figure, what is this dark brown colored, black colored layer? What is it called? It's called humus. It's called humus. This is basically the organic matter that is left in semi-decomposed or partially decomposed state. Okay. The backbencher students, please don't fight among yourselves. I can see what you're doing in the camera. Alright. So, organic matter is the most important part. It prevents evaporation of the water stored by the soil. Okay. And this is present in the upmost part. As you are moving downwards, you can see here the rock particle thickness is increasing. The soil particle thickness is increasing. Basically, you will find stone particles at the bottom and the finer soil particles are always present on the top. Okay. Now, there are some terms related to the deficiency of these micronutrients and macronutrients. One term is senescence. Okay. Senescence means basically the death of plant or plant parts, and the other term is change of the leaf color. Normally, either you call it change in leaf color or you call by another name called chlorosis. Okay. So this is a tree here. This is the best part for seeing this type of scene in this season. This is the autumn season. Have you seen any such trees around yourself, your area? Normally, northeast is known for the evergreen vegetation, but there are a lot of trees in evergreen tree area also, which show these colors. Can you name some trees which have this property in your area? I'm not asking in general. Yeah, you must have seen such trees. I know the name of the trees that grow in your area and show this coloration. The oak trees. Okay, there are some species of oak that have this property. Then betula palm. Okay, and then there are some dicots belonging to the Anacardiaceae family. They have this property. They also grow in your area. Rhododendron, they also show this property. Okay, so no problem. I hope you just remember this when you see such trees now. Now, when the old leaves are falling, basically they try to give their nutrients to the newer parts of the plant. Okay, so you in this diagram you can see some trees are red colored, some trees are basically yellow colored, something like that. Okay, so they are basically draining of their nutrients to the younger parts. And if a plant is going to lose all the leaves, when you see the spring season is coming, suddenly the plant will give all the new leaves. How is it possible? During autumn, leaf fall will happen. The plant will actually store the nutrients in its bark. Yes, this is a particular phenomenon that happens in the plants which shed all their leaves in the autumn season. In the winters, no photosynthesis will take place, but they have given their essential mineral nutrients to the bark area. The bark will store the nutrients, and as soon as spring season comes, suddenly you can see the plant has so much nutrients. So where do these nutrients come from? They are coming from the old leaves that are undergoing discoloration here. Okay, so they will store their nutrients, and the springtime they will use these nutrients to make new leaves. Okay. Okay, this is not, yeah, right. So this is a diagram, basically what I want to show you here is, they are dormant buds. This is an axillary bud. This is a vascular tissue. Okay. And what happens is, the nutrients, because you have studied transport in plants, so you know what xylem and phloem. Now please tell me, where will you transport mineral ions? From the center or from the outer area? From the central part or the peripheral part? Yeah, yeah. Normally the center, because center the xylem is present. Okay. In the peripheral part, normally phloem will be present. So basically, as you move towards center, you are transporting water minerals. Yeah, very good. I am happy. Now you are having cherry blossoms. Yeah, that must be beautiful scene there. So yeah, cherry blossoms are pink in color. So yeah, and in Japanese you have a word for it. It's called sakura. Okay, yeah, sakura is the name given to that cherry blossom. I'm sure some people must have named names like sakura also. It's a pink colored blossom. Yeah, it looks very beautiful, and it will also start. Images will start coming on the internet in 1 month from now regarding that cherry blossom is in Japan, and that will be a beautiful scene to watch. Okay, so all right, so let me come back. What we are discussing, that has been revised very well. Now let's write about macronutrients. Okay, macronutrients, what are they basically doing? Next page, just give me a second. Okay. Examples of macronutrients. Macronutrients are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, okay, and phosphorus, sulfur, potassium, etc. Okay. Also calcium and magnesium are also classified under this category. So calcium, magnesium, etc. So CHON, PSK, CAMG, etc. Regarding some ions, there is a confusion that we should whether place it under macronutrient or micronutrient, and what such ion is called iron. Iron is required in so much huge quantities that it was previously classified under macronutrient. Nowadays, it is put under micronutrient, but previously it was placed under macronutrient. Okay. All right. Now let's start with the other part, the micronutrients. So let's put the heading now. Micronutrients. Micronutrients. So basically, in the very simple definition, you can say these are the nutrients which are required in very less quantities. These are the nutrients required in very less quantities. Required in very less quantities compared to compared to macronutrients. Compared to macronutrients. So what are the examples? Examples are zinc, copper, boron. Boron is absorbed in the form of BO3 minus 3 or H2BO3 minus or HBO3 minus 2. So boron, better write just boron. Then you have other ions like gold, silver are not essential micronutrients. Okay, and you also classify iron. So better to write iron as iron. Normally iron is absorbed as iron plus 3. Okay. Then you have manganese. Manganese. Okay. Then you have chlorine. Chlorine is absorbed as chloride. Yeah, very good. Yeah, iron is a micronutrient. Okay. So all these minerals, these are basically the micronutrients. okay, and nickel also, but nickel deficiency is not in your syllabus. Nickel deficiency is not in your syllabus, but there are some enzymes that they might be asked. I'll give you the examples later. Okay. Now we need to make a distinction between the concentration of macro and micronutrients. Concentration difference. Macronutrients and micronutrients, they have this essential difference. Only one basic difference is there, that macronutrients are required in the quantities of greater than 10 millimole per kg. I'll write the full form here. 10 millimole per kg, that means 10 into 10 to the power minus 3 mole per kg of dry matter. Basically, if you multiply it like this, 10 to the power minus 3 means milli. So 10 millimole per kg of dry matter. Basically, it comes out around 10 to the power minus 2 mole. And if you take a mole of carbon, so 1 mole of carbon is 12 gram. So 12 into 10 to the power minus 2, that means you have 0.12 gram. Okay. So 0.12 gram per kg. So that is the around basic, gives you an idea how much quantity they will be required. Micronutrients will be always required in quantities of less than 10 into 10 to the power minus 3 mole per kg of dry matter. So if you take 1 kilogram of dry matter, it will contain less than 10 millimoles. This is the only difference. This is the only difference between macro and micronutrients. Okay. All right. Now let's okay. So basically, there is a lot of learning part here. Okay. What I have to show you, that is already given you in NCERT, and there is no use giving those points to you here, because it's basically you just have to learn it. Okay, I have already given you all this. Okay, so what you have to learn is basically this chart regarding the micro and the micronutrients, that where is the role, what is the site of utilization of particular ions. So I'll give you in very short, in around 1 page, about the role of macro and micronutrients. So please put the heading now, role of macro and micronutrients. Role of macro and micro nutrients. I'll also give you a PPT for all this. I am only writing what is very essential and normally not mentioned in your book. So, nitrogen, what is the role of nitrogen? So this is a summary. Basically, this is a summary. Nitrogen. What you will remember is, questions are asked, how is nitrogen absorbed as? So you will write absorbed as either nitrate or ammonium ion. Okay. Also NO2 minus. Now NO3 minus is the most important source. So therefore you can write either as nitrate. If nitrate is not present, then as an ammonium ion. And if ammonium ion is also not there, plants can also use nitrite ion. So I have given you order. Either this is the most important. If not this, then ammonium. If not ammonium, then nitrite. This is the order. Required by which parts? All parts of the plant. all parts of plant. All right. Next, what will happen if it is deficient? What will happen if it is deficient? So if it is deficient, deficiency causes, you can see this here, deficiency causes, wait just a second, deficiency causes all right, the chlorosis and the okay, wait a second, I think I had given you it somewhere, the other slide also. Yeah, okay. So deficiency will cause the loss of activity in the meristematic parts. There are loss of activity in the deficiency causes chlorosis. Okay. Chlorosis, what is chlorosis? So let me give you a diagram. If this is a leaf and suppose it is green colored, and it is green colored, then chlorosis means that there will be patches where chlorophyll is absent, like this. There are some particular patterns of chlorosis also. One is called intervenal chlorosis, one is called marginal chlorosis. So when chlorosis is happening in the older leaves on a widespread scale, that only a few patches of chlorophyll are to be visible, then that is called widespread chlorosis. Okay. So these type of symptoms do appear because nitrogen is essential part of not the white patch, not the white patch. I have to give you some images. There are different types of chlorosis. Okay, different types of chlorosis happens for different mineral ions. It will not be very easy for me to show you this here in the diagram also. Okay, just a second. Look, chlorosis is a general phenomenon. If nitrogen deficiency is there, whole leaf will become without chlorophyll. Whole leaf will become yellow. Older leaves will become totally yellow because they will transfer all their nitrogen to the younger leaves. This is total chlorosis. I will tell you the more minerals which can cause different type of chlorosis. Okay, and that other type of chlorosis, do not draw this diagram here. There is another type of chlorosis also. For example, like this. The whole leaf is green. The whole leaf is green, but at the marginal part, suppose here like this, it is developing yellow color. So this is called marginal chlorosis. I will come to this part later. There is another type of chlorosis in which what is happening is intervenal chlorosis. These are the veins of the leaf, and along the veins of the leaf it is becoming chlorotic here in this part between the veins. All other parts are green in color. The margins are green, but between the veins it is yellow in color. Okay. So I will come to this part later. I am telling you that there are different types of chlorosis. If nitrogen is deficient, whole leaf will become chlorotic. The first diagram. These diagrams will come later. These diagrams will come later. So this is not required here. Okay. White patch under mustard leaf is due to Cystopus candidas. White patch under mustard leaf is due to Cystopus candidas. You remember Cystopus candidas? Okay. Alright, so if you require me to give you a break, you can have it now. Just a 5-minute break, not longer than that. Okay, you do not require? Yeah, very good. I am very happy that you don't require a break. So let me finish this chapter today. Let me finish this chapter today. Okay, nitrogenous deficiency causes chlorosis. Next mineral is phosphorus. Phosphorus. So please write, phosphorus is absorbed as PO4 minus 3 also, or any salt of phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid is H3PO4. So basically you can absorb it as H2PO4 minus. No sir, we need a break. Please raise your hands. How many people want a break? I can take a vote. Okay, how many people want a break? Very few people don't want a break. Make it 5 minutes. Return exactly within 5 minutes, not longer. Please make it very quick. Okay, I'm giving you a break. Just 5 minutes only. Please make it very quick. Okay, so I hope you are back now. Breaks over, please come back quickly. Alright. So this is what I wanted to show you. Please look carefully here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so please take a look at this chart. Nitrogen, I have just sent this PPT to you on your groups. I have just sent it to you, right? Okay. Now after you have the break, you are telling me that no was sent by mistake. Okay, anyway. Alright, it's okay. Essential nutrients of the plants. You can have this by just open your PPT on your phones also if you are not able to see it on your on the screen here. Nitrogen absorbed in this manner. Phosphorus, this is the complete table which expresses the deficiency symptoms. Okay, so this will serve as notes for you for this chapter. Okay. All right. So what is the deficiency symptom of nitrogen? Please see this here. The whole leaf is becoming yellow. Nitrogen is a very mobile element. So you can see the older leaves are becoming yellow, but the younger leaves are staying green. Is it visible to everybody? It is visible to everybody, right? The older leaves are becoming yellow and the younger leaves are staying green. How is this possible? Because nitrogen is a mobile element. It moves from the older parts to the newer parts. So this was what I told you just now, that the whole leaf will become yellow. This is the characteristic feature of nitrogen deficiency. But there are other types of deficiency also. For example, if there is a deficiency of let's say potassium, or let's say there is a deficiency of for other ion like magnesium, so this will show a very different type of symptom. Okay, so it is visible in this image here. Let me see it here. Yeah. For example, this one. Okay, wait a second then, because there is an error now. There was an error, just a second. All right. Yeah, okay. So macronutrient or micronutrient deficiency, if nitrogen deficiency is there, okay, if nitrogen deficiency is there, the leaf is starting to become yellow. On the left hand side, the leaf is totally green in color. So when the complete nutrition is provided, the leaf will stay green in color. But if nitrogen deficiency is there, whole leaf becomes yellow. Now see the potassium deficiency. Potassium deficiency, you can see the area near the margin. Okay, the margin and the veins. Marginal and intervenal chlorosis takes place in the case of potassium deficiency. And if nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, all three deficiency is there, the leaf will become totally yellow. You can see the difference here. This image explains the total difference between the types of chlorosis that is occurring in the plants. Alright. So this was what I wanted to show you. Okay. And Nitrogen functions, it is visible in this slide: amino acid, protein, enzyme, nucleic acids, chlorophyll, right? Yeah, you cannot hear me properly. Okay, maybe there is something else. Okay, now you can hear me. My voice is very low. Can you hear me now? I'm not sure what happened, but I hope you can hear me now. All right. So after the nitrogen deficiency, we have to cover phosphorus deficiency. Okay. So it's the phosphorus deficiency is quite rare, because phosphorus is normally very abundant, and all living materials contain phosphorus in their DNA. So if humus is there, phosphorus deficiency is very uncommon to be noticed. Okay. Phosphorus is also mobile, a very mobile element. Okay. And in the fertilizers also, that superphosphate of lime, single superphosphate, it is shown in this slide here, triple superphosphate. All these symptoms are quite clearly visible. Okay. Ammonium phosphate. So these are good sources of phosphorus and nitrogen as well. Okay. Right. Now let's see the deficiency of nitrogen and phosphorus. So if phosphorus deficiency is there, the symptom is not going to be visible immediately, but actually what is happening, the new leaf will not be formed. This is an old leaf. In the old leaf, the phosphorus is there, and the phosphorus is a slightly less mobile element. Phosphorus is slightly less mobile element. Okay. So deficiency symptom will be more visible in the newly formed area, okay, than the compared to nitrogen. Nitrogen is very mobile, so it will move to the younger parts, but in this case there is a difference. Okay. All right. Then there is potassium. Potassium is present in large amounts in the mineral soil. Okay. So let's write about these things first. Phosphorus absorbed as H2PO4 minus, H2PO4 minus, or HPO4 minus 2, or HPO4 minus 2. Okay. And because of this, the phosphorus deficiency that is going to be visible, it is having a different kind of phenomenon. You cannot hear me. You cannot hear me still? I think there is an issue on your end. So, all right. If you are not visible, if it is not audible, okay, so I'll just write, okay. I'll just focus on the writing part. I hope that suits you. Okay. So I'll just focus on the writing part. Okay. Okay, I think Shillong students, okay. So Shillong, please call your coordinator. For the rest of the people, I'll also who are able to hear me properly, I'll write and show you the PPTs. Okay. So I hope that works for everybody. So it is more abundant in meristematic tissues. Sorry, not abundant in meristematic tissues. It's an important constituent. It is an important constituent of cell membranes, because cell membrane is made up of which component? Do you remember? What is the unit of cell membrane? Phospholipids. Okay, now you can name me. Very happy, very good. That is working now. Phospholipid is a component of cell membrane. So if phosphorus is absent, new cell membrane cannot be formed. And in the proteins, some proteins contain phosphorus. Normally, protein, when you talk about protein, phosphorus will not be present normally, okay, but some proteins have phosphorus. Also, all nucleic acids, whether it is DNA or it is RNA, all nucleic acids, okay, all nucleic acids and nucleotides. When I talk about nucleotide, so please pay attention here. When I talk about nucleotide, then that means that I am trying to tell you about ATP, GTP and FTP, all these nucleotides. So nucleotide means any triphosphate material, that is included in the nucleotide definition. And also for all phosphorylation reactions, and for all phosphorylation reactions, so that is very essential. Okay, all right. Then there is potassium. Potassium is absorbed as K plus, okay, and it is required in the meristematic tissues, birds, required in meristematic tissues, birds, okay, leaves and root tips, okay. This is the essential part of this chapter, okay. Okay. Now there is some kind of deficiency symptom that is visible in some plants, and regarding the potassium deficiency, let me show you. Potassium deficiency, if potassium deficiency is there, leaf marginal necrosis will happen. Leaf margin necrosis means the tip of the leaf will become necrotic. And the margins will also be affected. So you can see this symptom here. Everybody can see it. The leaf tip marginal necrosis. Please write it. The characteristic feature of potassium deficiency is leaf margin necrosis. Please write it down. So today is a special day for us. Wouldn't you wish us? Yeah, surely. What's the special occasion? I'm very sorry, I do not know. So please tell me about that. Yeah, I would be very interested to know what's the special occasion. Until you tell me, I would not know. So what is your special occasion that you are celebrating today, dear students? What is special occasion? Okay, so what is that? Yeah, okay. All right. So I'm very sorry, I forgot. Yeah, happy Children's Day to everyone. Yeah, I forgot. Um, I actually didn't remember very well. Yeah, maybe it must have missed me completely. I was very busy. Yeah, happy Children's Day, everyone. To all the lovely children out there. Okay. So yeah, thank you for yeah, just reminding me a bit that it's 14th of November. So yeah, it's really special for you. So how are you celebrating today? How are you celebrating? Okay, I think, yeah, if you would have been here or I would have been there, we could have some interaction, and maybe I could have taken you out for a small treat or something. So unfortunately I'm not there, and it's not possible for me to come right there now. So until the time we meet, okay, so save your energies for that part, and I'll maybe we can do that later, okay. So thank you for making me remember that. I had almost forgotten. Okay, so later on we'll carry this out, okay. I'm just surprised I forgot that. Anyway, right now let me just concentrate on finishing this chapter now, because I have a lot of course that has to be done, okay. So later on I'll carry on my conversation with you, okay. So let's continue. So potassium deficiency causes leaf marginal necrosis, that is visible in this image to you. There is no treat. For the treat you have to be there or I have to be there. Nitin sir comes very frequently, so you can ask Nitin sir to give you a treat, because he pays very frequent visits, but because of my schedule it's not possible, okay. So if I had been there I would have given you a treat, but I cannot be in two places at once. Alright, so just save your treat for some time else. Whenever you come here in Delhi, let me know. I'll be happy to meet you. But until and unless we meet, we cannot have a treat. Okay, so you can call me. You can ask the coordinators for a visit, and then I'll give you a treat. Okay, that's what I can do. Nothing else can be possible at the moment, but I can try. Okay. So if remembering my time, I'm not sure everybody remembers what it used to be previously. Children's Day, like basically normally it's because there was a prime minister who has his birthday falling on this day. So normally we do not used to do much, but because my school was a convent school, there were very strict principles, but normally we used to get something from the teachers, like they used to sing a song for us, or and that was the end of it, because you cannot expect too much from the teachers, and that was all I remember from my school days, in my remembering what they used to do for me or everybody on the Children's Day. So that was what they did. Okay. Now don't expect me to sing a song right now. My voice is not good for singing. It's only for bathroom singing. Okay. And normally when I sing, it's I'm a fan of heavy metal, hard rock, those kind of songs. Sometimes I listen to soft songs also, but those are not good for singing without the vocal instruments. Okay. So thank you. We'll save a treat for later. All right. Carrying on. Please write this. Yeah. Leaf marginal necrosis and leaf tip necrosis. Please write this here. Deficiency symptoms are leaf tip necrosis. Okay. All right. Carrying on. Then there is potassium deficiency along with the calcium deficiency. Calcium. So calcium is a very abundant element. It is present in very large quantities in the Earth's surface, and it is having the influence on absorption and availability of other ions also. Calcium is a component of cell wall. How is it a component of cell wall? Do you remember? How is calcium a component of the cell wall? Can you tell me? Calcium is a component of calcium pectate, which forms the middle lamella. Okay. So deficiency symptoms. So just don't write, just open this PPT. I think this will be sufficient. No need to write. I have given you this PPT, everyone. I hope everybody has received this PPT. So no need of writing. Just copy it from here. Okay. Everything is available here. Just copy it from here. Just mark it in here. So deficiency symptom is visible in the young leaves and the new shoots. Calcium is immobile element. So this is a small mistake here. C is immobile. I have written here. Actually, it must be Ca. In the third point, just correct it. This is a misprint here. Calcium is immobile. It's not Ca. It's not carbon. And stunted growth, leaf distortion, necrotic spots, shoot tip death, and blossom and rotten tomato. These are the deficiency symptoms that will be visible. Fertilizers for calcium are calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate. Basically, it's called dolomite. Lime superphosphate are the sources. Now, what is the calcium deficiency symptom? It is called blossom end rot. So if this kind of symptom is appearing anywhere in tomatoes, that means that the soil is deficient in calcium. If you see these kind of symptoms in tomatoes anywhere near in your kitchen garden anywhere, then that means it is a calcium deficiency symptom. Okay. All right. Also, calcium influences the root growth. Okay. So root growth is becoming very proper. Then there is sulfur. Sulfur is basically contained in the organic matter. Acid rain is a good source of sulfur, and sulfur is an important component of amino acids, methionine, cysteine, and it's also responsible for the pungent odor of onion, garlic, mustard. Onion, what is a chemical responsible for the watering of eyes? Do you know? What is a chemical substance? Actually, it contains sulfur. It contains sulfur. You try to find out by yourself. Garlic, the smell of garlic is also sulfur compound. So I'll discuss this later. What is the reason? Tell me in the next class. I'll discuss this with you. Fertilizers, any sulfate containing mineral is a source of sulfur. Now let us come to the deficiency of sulfur. If sulfur deficiency or magnesium deficiency is there, okay, so what will happen is a particular kind of just a second. Yeah, there is a small thing here. Let me show you. Yeah, a particular kind of chlorosis will happen due to sulfur deficiency. Okay, so you can see is overall chlorosis will happen. Sulfur deficiency causes overall chlorosis. Carrying on, let's move on to magnesium. If magnesium is absent, magnesium is required in the sucrose metabolism, okay, and it is required for the formation of chlorophyll. If magnesium is not there, chlorophyll will not be formed at all, right? Yeah, exactly. Very good. Magnesium deficiency. So magnesium deficiency is there. Intervenal chlorosis occurs. In plants, if magnesium deficiency is there, intervenal chlorosis will happen. So you can see between the veins, all the chlorophyll is missing. Okay, that is the particular type of deficiency symptom. All right. Now there is another mineral called iron. What is iron absorbed as? Iron is absorbed as iron plus 3. In the beginning of the PowerPoint presentation here, you can see that iron or any other mineral, it is a chart given here that it shows the what iron is absorbed in which form. Okay, so no need to write that here. Now let us see this thing here, iron deficiency symptom. If iron deficiency is there, then there is a very different kind of chlorosis that is happening, and you can see that old or young, all kinds of leaves will be affected. Overall chlorosis. This is happening because iron is needed for the synthesis of chlorophyll. If iron is there, then chlorophyll will be formed. If iron is not there, chlorophyll will not be formed at all. Okay, so this is another type of iron deficiency. It is called intervenal chlorosis on new leaves. The new leaves means the top of the plant. The top of the plant is yellow. The bottom of the plant is still yellowish, but not fully green also. But the top is clearly yellow. So that means new chlorophyll cannot be formed. Manganese. Manganese is required for also chlorophyll synthesis, and manganese is also having a very important role. There are two ions that are very important, and that is not mentioned in the photosynthesis chapter, which is the next chapter I am going to teach you. Manganese and chlorine, both these ions are required for the photolysis reaction of photosynthesis, breaking down of water molecule into oxygen and hydrogen ion. That is only going to be possible when manganese is there and chlorine is there. Okay. Toxicity symptom and deficiency symptom is manganese deficiency causes mottled chlorosis between main veins of new leaves, because manganese is immobile element. It does not move from one part to the other. So iron chlorosis and manganese chlorosis are exactly the same. Then there is boron deficiency. Boron deficiency is having a very different kind of symptom. Flowering, fruiting is depressed, and new growth is distorted, malformed. So what happened was, in my garden, there was a tree of lemons. There was a lemon tree, and I asked the gardener what is happening to that tree, because the flowers were coming and the flowers are not turning into the fruits. So this was my experiment on the soil deficiency. So I discovered that because this type of deficiency is closely associated with boron deficiency, so I added boric acid in the soil. I gave the plant good dose of boric acid. So boron deficiency was fulfilled, and shortly after that the flowers did not drop and the fruit was formed. So in anywhere, if you have fruit trees in your family garden or kitchen garden anywhere, so in your backyard also, if flowers are coming and they are dropping down, then that could be due to boron deficiency. Okay. So this is the symptom of boron deficiency. So my experiment was successful. It was boron deficiency. Zinc deficiency is protein synthesis. It is involved in protein synthesis, and deficiency causes growth suppression and rosette habit. Please mark this. This is a question in your NEET examination. What is the symptom of zinc deficiency? Zinc deficiency causes two symptoms. One is called rosette habit of plants. Rosette habit means because zinc is essential for oxygen synthesis. Zinc is essential for oxygen synthesis. Essential for oxygen synthesis. So if zinc is not there, zinc deficiency will cause zinc deficiency causes basically the zinc deficiency will cause rosette habit in plants. Yeah, sure. Rosette habit in plants. So because the plant is trying to grow but it has no oxygen, so oxygen causes the growth of the shoot tip. So if shoot tip is not growing, then that means it is going to become a rosette like plant. So all these symptoms, all these deficiencies are given in the PPT, so don't need to worry about it. I have given you this, so this should cover your most part. Okay. So all the mineral deficiency along with the diagrams, they are given in this PPT. So please study this, it will help you in remembering it. Okay. Alright, so let me carry on. Then there is molybdenum deficiency. If molybdenum is not there, root nodules will not be formed. Okay. Root nodules will not be formed. Molybdenum is essential for the nitrogen fixation in plants. Copper deficiency. Now copper deficiency symptom has been asked in your board examination. Please see carefully, witch's broom disease. Witch's broom. How many people of you have seen witch's broom? Yeah, witch's broom like the Harry Potter's broom, right? So Harry Potter's broom disease or witch's broom disease is caused by copper deficiency. So that has been asked in your board exam. Don't try to Harry Potter, I'm just joking, okay? So witch's broom disease was asked, not Harry Potter disease, just joking. So it's given here in this PPT. Chlorine. Chlorine is involved in photosynthetic oxygen evolution. So yeah, there is a misprint here again. It's revolution written here. It must have come by mistake, by typing mistake. It's evolution, not revolution, not Che Guevara or communist revolution. It's just evolution. So toxicity is not needed. Yeah, not actually particular type of observable. Okay. Normally it does not occur because chlorine is very much present in plant everywhere. Alright. Molybdenum deficiency. Okay, this is visible here. The tip necrosis and the marginal necrosis, chlorosis. Marginal chlorosis. Okay, how are fertilizers applied? They are basically plant growth is influenced by the nutrient which is present in lowest quantity. So this has been asked in examination, how will you decide which fertilizer is to be used? So there are different kinds of fertilizers and we use them according to the most deficient mineral in the soil. Okay. This graph is just for your convenience purpose, do not try to remember it. Okay. This just for your convenience purpose. Okay. Alright. This is just what you have covered in 9th and 10th class. 9th and 10th NCERT. Okay. So basically this will cover all those parts. Okay. So right now we have covered the toxicity, necrosis. Look, necrosis, I'll go back to the slide. just a second. Necrosis, yeah. This is necrosis. This is necrosis. Necrosis means dead cells. Necrosis means dead cell area. Chlorosis means not dead cells. Cells which are having no chlorophyll is called chlorosis. But if cells are dying, then that is called necrosis. So there is a huge difference between the two. There is a huge difference between the two. Necrosis means dead cells. Chlorosis means without chlorophyll. Okay. So this is the difference between them. So necrosis is more severe, chlorosis is less severe. So if necrosis is happening, that means cells are dying as a whole. Lots of cells are dying. But chlorosis simply means that there is no chlorophyll in the plants. Plants are having other sources of nutrition also. But necrosis is more harmful. Okay. So all these, please study this these images carefully. Do not write, there is no need to learn the name of the plant in which there is deficiencies there. Just try to learn the name of the disease. So I have put lot of slides here. So there is some hard work here. I hope you appreciate that, and please try to remember it. The names of these diseases. These are very important. So all the minerals, normally the question that will be asked in your board examinations, how it is absorbed, what is the deficiency symptom, how you can prevent it, these type of questions. So all these questions are given here, all these things are given here. You do not need to remember the approximate percentage of concentration. This is not required. This is only to give you an idea that how much minerals are present in the plants. Okay, which plant composed the maximum mass of the dry mass of the plant. This is for that purpose only. Do not learn the last table. Please try to, however, take the ionic forms. Atomic weight you already remember. There is no need to learn it as well. You have studied it in chemistry. Ionic form absorbed by the plant, that is to be remembered. Of each and every ion. Okay, nitrogen, which form? Carbon, which form? Iron, which form? Manganese, which form? Most of that is easy. There should not be any difficulty regarding this. Okay, so in the next class we will cover the nitrogen metabolism in plants, formation of nitrate, ammonia, etc. from atmospheric nitrogen, root nodule formation. All these things we will discuss. I think it will hardly take half an hour, and after that we will start photosynthesis. So this chapter will also be finished tomorrow, I think, and then we will start with photosynthesis. Okay, so I hope this PPT will serve as enough notes for you. Okay, and the last part I'll give you a separate note for that also. So thank you, dear students. Happy Children's Day. Okay, thank you. See you in the next class.